Do you guys see all this like Warhammer stuff that's been going on the past day?
Talked about it today. Well, was that yesterday that I talked about that? Yesterday on the show? Yeah.
So I've just like kind of been catching up on stuff or whatever, but it looks like basically they introduced female characters into this group that had historically always been male. And they put out this like virtue signaling tweet, like there's always since the beginning of time been females, like whatever. And it's just so fucking crazy.
So basically there's a faction in 40K called the Custodes, and they're like these angelic, like super powerful beings that exist in the setting and
are men, right?
Well, they're not lying when they say that they have never explicitly stated they're only men, but they've only ever been men in the last like 2 decades that they've existed, or 3 decades that they've existed, and so everybody just kind of widely assumed that they're men, and Games Workshop never corrected anyone and never said anything different. And here's the funny part about it that they won't mention, and Games Workshop won't mention, is that the very first iterations of the Custodes actually did have a female character in it, and she was so like disliked that they got rid of it. They also used to have female Space Marines early iterations, and they got rid of them because nobody wanted them. So they then declared that all like Space Marines are men; they have to be men. But yeah, this whole thing is like, they say it's not a retcon because they never explicitly stated it. But when your entire fan base says, "Hey, this is pretty much the widely believed narrative," and then you change it, it feels like it is a retcon, and that's what makes people upset. More than anything, it's like, why now? Why did you feel like you needed to now? And what it was is there was a high up executive within the company who hasn't been named, who basically told them whenever they tried to introduce female characters in the Custodes, no, you can't do that. They're men. We're never gonna have a female character there. And something happened to this guy. I don't know if he stepped down, if he retired, or if he got outvoted finally, and so he finally wasn't able to stop them from doing this, and they were able to finally pull the trigger on it. But they've been trying to work on this now for quite a few years, trying to introduce
the thing is, aren't there several different like types of characters you play that are explicitly female, like just
the Sisters of Battle, the Sisters of Silence, they're only female factions. If you go into the Eldar, which are the space elves, they have a lot of female characters. They have the Harlequins, which are only female. There are definitely plenty of female-centric factions within 40K, and then there's also just factions that just naturally do have female characters within the setting as well. That's why people were really weirded out by it. And then, surprisingly enough, and Rippin knows what this is like when you're underrepresented group and you speak out against stuff. There's a bunch of 40K players that are female. They're like, yo, this sucks. We don't want this. This feels like a slap in the face. We don't need that pandering and stuff. And they got called all the names in the book, like, shut up, bitch. You don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid and you hate yourself because you're a woman and all that stuff. And yeah, so it's kind of become a big thing. But yeah, I've been saying this for a while. 40K was kind of the last bastion, and they've been trying for a long time to get in on that and affect that, because they know that property is about to get really popular with Henry Cavill and what Amazon's doing, and so they got to change it now before it gets too popular, and they can't go back and retcon the lore. So